Hi, this is Dr. Jane Piddleton, and this is my husband, Dr. John Piddleton. We're both pastors of the Holy Christian Church, and we are back with Maranatha Minutes. That's right, we're back with Genesis chapter 30, part 2.
Yes.
Part 2. You can go right here, and that's the last chapter. Be sure and watch that before you get to this point, because we don't want to confuse you. We've also answered some of your questions, and right now we're just going to go back here and pick up at Genesis chapter 30, part 2, which is Genesis 30:25. Is that right? Yeah, Genesis 30:25. Okay, Jacob's flocks increase. And you're going to be Jacob again.
Okay.
He gets to play Jacob. He likes that part. Jacob. After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban,
"Send me away, so I can go back to my homeland. Give me my wives and children, for whom I have served you, and I will be on my way. You know how much work I've done for you."
But Laban said to him, "If I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you." He added, "Name your wages, Jacob, and I will gladly pay them." Jacob said to him,
You know how I work for you, and how your livestock have fared under my care. The little you had before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I have been. But now, when may I do something for my own household?
"What shall I give you?" he asked.
Don't give me anything, Jacob replied, but if you will do this one thing for me, I will go on tending your flocks and watching over them. Let me go through your flocks today and remove from them every speckled and spotted sheep, every dark-colored lamb, and every spotted and speckled goat. They will be my wages, and my honesty will testify for me in the future. Whenever you check on the wages you paid me, any goat in my possession that is not speckled or spotted, or any lamb that is not dark-colored, will be considered stolen."
"Agreed," Laban said. "Let it be as you have said." That same day he removed all the male goats that were streaked or spotted, and all the speckled or spotted female goats, all that had white on them, and all the dark-colored lambs, and he placed them in the care of his sons. Then he put a 3-day journey between himself and Jacob, while Jacob continued to tend the rest of Laban's flocks. Jacob, however, took fresh-cut branches from poplar, almond, and plane trees, and made white stripes on them by peeling the bark and exposing the white inner wood of the branches. Then he placed the peeled branches in all the watering troughs, so that they would be directly in front of the flocks when they came to drink. When the flocks were in heat and came to drink, they mated in front of the branches, and they bore young that were streaked or speckled or spotted. Jacob set apart the young of the flocks by themselves, but made the rest face the streaked and the dark-colored animals that belonged to Laban. Thus he made separate flocks for himself, and did not put them with Laban's animals. Whenever the stronger females were in heat, Jacob would place the branches in the troughs in front of the animals so they would mate near the branches. But if the animals were weak, he would not place them there. So the weak animals went to Laban and the strong ones to Jacob. He was fooling him. In this way, the man grew exceedingly prosperous and came to own a large flock, and female and male servants, and camels and donkeys.
Well, and if you look here, it wasn't his conniving again. He started to connive.
Yeah, there he goes.
It wasn't his
Jacob is
conniving that actually produced the wealth. It wasn't a streaked or
Wasn't a stick
stick
that they
that
tore bark
produced
off
it.
of.
God had determined that he would bless Jacob.
That's right.
And regardless of the engineering that he went through, God was going to bless him, and
That's
he did
right.
bless him. Well, there was definitely a contention between them. And Jacob later says that Laban changed his wages every time he turned around. So
So Jacob
so
found a
you're
way
wondering
around
what
it.
was going around with Jacob. is that Laban was changing his wages all the time.
So he found a way to produce his riches through his wages through the animals, and that Laban had to keep his promise on at least the speckled animals. So he made all the really strong speckled or striped animals to be his, and then he sent all the others over here that were weaker and everything, and he bred into them to be weaker and not as good and gave them to Laban. That's more deception. That's what's going on. He was deceived. He was still kind of sore about the Rachel thing. I mean, think about it. He's been living with 2 cackling hens ever since he was deceived.
No, 4.
He's got 1 daughter, but he's got a bunch of sons, and now they're all having their set of problems. So now that's where we're going to go next.
Yes.
So stay tuned for Maranatha Minutes, Genesis chapter 31. That's next.